Guys, today I would like to share to you how to use a UGNX to 3D modeling a cup. So next I would go into very bottom to show how this cup looks like. You could see there is a lot of buttons on the side surface. I would like to show you how I make this. So next I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Let's go in right click and then make currently features, and you're gonna see a datum coordinate systems in here. And next is a sketch. So in this sketch, in ZCXC splines, I draw a profile, side profile, half profile in here. So next I do a revolve. If I click into that revolve, you could see this dimension is already been limited to 45. The height is 100 millimeters and the bottom of 35 millimeters. And selected the curve, I selected the profile, and access specific vectors, I need to select the ZC, and specific point I suggested to choose this point here. And let's revolve it with a 360 degrees. Let's hit OK. So if you want to find a revolve orders, you need to go to a home in extrude and in here revolve. You could also go into a menu insert, and in design features revolved is in here. So next is edge blend. I do a blend in here. I give it a radius of 5 millimeters on the buttons. And next I do a shell. So edge blend is in here, right? And shell, next step. Okay, I give a thickness of the cup itself. Where is the shell? Is in here. During the home tab, you could find the shell. What is offside scale? You could find the shell. First order is the shell in here. The shell, I give a thickness of 3 millimeters to this cup. Okay, let's go into next step is also a edge blender. I do a 1.5 millimeters to make this edge become a very rounded edge. Let's hit it OK. So next the dot and line. I created another point on the top. So how I can create it? So you just click this, and maybe you could click the XC YC plane and give dimensions. How dimensions in here is 100 millimeters. You can offset this plane on the very top. And next is sketch 7. So on this plane, based on the plane I created, I draw a sketch on here. So I draw a one line first, and by using these parts and curves. Okay, you could also important curves I just show you. In here, default is linear. If you could choose a circular, you're gonna do this with 360 degrees, and you're gonna sight in each two lines the angle, right? Okay, let's close it. In next, let's finish the sketch. Next, dot and line. Okay, I created new points on the bottom surface of this cup. Let's you could also select this face. When you click this, you directly selected the face to define the plane. And next is sketch 9. So based on this plan I created, I do the same sketch of the top. You could also, if you go into a sketch, in here, offside curve, you could give a distance 0. So you could definitely copy the top. It kind of projected the top surface directly to this plane. Let's finish the sketch. And then next is line 10. line 10 is 3D sketch. So I directly clicked it. I don't click into that sketch. I directly choose the line and capture this point to the point at the bottom to directly draw this line here. It's a 3D sketch. And next is point 11 is here. How to create a point going to curve. There is a point, and choose the tab intersection point. I can also click it into that point. It's going to show you. So selected objects and the selected curve. Selected object is this circular shape, and the selected curve is this straight lines. It's gonna be calculate intersection point in here. Okay, and 12, the same way I can capture it in here. And point 3, the same way I can capture it in here. Capture a point, intersection points here. And if I go into point 14, point 14 is in here the same way. Point 15 here the same way. Point 16 also I got a point in here. So next, line 17. By using the 3D line, I directly clicked in here to connect the point from this point to this point, which is the 3D sketch. Next, the same way, by line 18, I directly click this line from this point to this point. Directly drawing is okay. Sketch 20 seconds based on DC XZ plane. I draw this curve and I just give a radius of this curve. Let's calculate this. Is 789.1 for this radius. Let's finish the sketch. And going to the next step, throw curve mesh. Where is throw curve mesh? Is in home, surface, throw curve mesh. You could also go into a menu, insert in the surface. Oh no, in the mesh surface, there has a throw curve mesh here. So if I click into that throw curve mesh, and you could see how I generating this mesh. I click one edge, another edge, third cross curve, and fourth cross curve. I just keep here, all here is continuity is G0, position is enough. Hit OK. And next, based on this throw curve mesh I generating, I do a pattern geometries. The pattern feature is here. So you need to choose, if this is not circular, for example, linear, you need to change to a circular. And you're gonna give a specific vector is these directions, and specific point, maybe you could choose the point on the center, this place, and you're gonna tell the laptop how many lines, how many surface you need to generating, and the keep it here is a count and pitch. So I just give a 29 of this surface, and the pitch angle, you need to give it like 360 divided by 58 and double. So hits OK. So if I hide this. So next I do a solving to make all the surface I generated to become a one piece. So if I click it, I just click a one piece, and then for the tool, you need to select the rest of the surface. Keep the tolerance as smaller as possible. So you hit it, OK, it's generated. If I just Control B to hide it the right part, you could see this is the surface. We're solving it together. Okay, so let's Control W, showing the solid part again. Let's go into the trim body, make currently feature. So the trim body is in here. So if you go into a menu, insert in trim, here is the trim body. In trim body, I selected the body I want to trim is the right part, and the tool is the solving surface I generated before. Keep the tolerance in 0.1. You need to keep the tool option to face or ply because the solving surface belongs to a face or ply, not a new ply. Let's hit it OK. So if you Control B, hide this surface, the shades, and you're gonna show this right part already be trimmed by the generating surface I created the last step. So next is the very last step is I give a edge blender to this very sharp corner. So I just give for 2 millimeters to make it look more nice than before. And at this time, I just hit Control W and I hide the sketch I created before and the curve I I need to click a minus. I need to hide the datums. So this is how this cop looks like. Perfect. Okay, guys, today's tutorial is just finished, and see you next class.